Guys, dah cakap dah. Jangan kecam banyak sangat. Tengok, Maguire dah marah. Let's go. Salam sejahtera and welcome to JomUnited. We are a Malaysian Manchester United fan channel. Yes, dengan bangganya Buatan Malaysia. Okay, if you're checking out this video, smash the like button, share our videos, leave a comment below, right? And of course, don't forget subscribe as we are closing in on the 2000 subscriber mark. Okay, that is our new milestone, alright? So Jai, Telegram group, sila kongsi sikit.
Jangan lupa share. Kita ada Telegram group. Dekat dalam Telegram group tu ada macam-macam kita boleh bercakap tentang Manchester United, tentang Cristiano Ronaldo, tentang Erik ten Hag, tentang Maguire, tentang David De Gea. So, jangan lupa join link Telegram JomUnited. Hashtag.
Ini Jai Maguire.
Maguire.
Okay guys, just as my introduction just now, alright? So apparently now it's a trend, okay, starting from Martial, and then I think Bruno actually came out during this international break to actually speak to the press, you know, giving their thoughts and whatnot. But then Maguire, it's a bit different lah. His approach, his points and input is a bit different than the rest of the two lah, I would say lah. Okay, so but to start off first lah, okay, I start dulu dengan Jai lah. Okay, dalam you dah sokong Manchester United dah lama kan, bukan baru-baru ini saja kan. Okay, so bila kita cakap pasal captain Manchester United, okay, kita cakap Steve Bruce, okay, Eric Cantona, lagi siapa? Roy Keane, definitely Roy Keane, Gary Neville, okay, and then of course people macam tu lah. So dengan sebagai seorang captain Manchester United, dan karakteristik seorang captain, apa yang sepatutnya mereka perlu ada?
Yang perlu ada dekat dalam karakteristik tadi bukan ada dekat Maguire. Okey lah, I terus cakap pasal Maguire lah. Sebab Maguire memang tak layak langsung as a pegang armband ataupun bermain dekat dalam United sekalipun, dengan apa yang kita dengar dan apa yang kita nampak tadi. Sebab I tak pernah tengok daripada zaman era dulu, zaman Roy Keane, I tak pernah tengok kapten yang macam ni. Tak pernah terfikir letakkan kesalahan pada orang lain, bukan pada diri sendiri. Dengan statement-statement yang terkejut lah, tak pernah tengok lah. Dia ni tak tahulah sampah ke apa, tak tahu lah Maguire ni. I tak tahu, serius, memang I tak tahu apa yang dia fikir. Dia tengah stone ke apa, tak tahu apa yang dia bagi statement tadi.
Dia
memang tak boleh masuk akal. Serius ah?
Memang batu lah, memang batu.
Oh, I ingat dia stone yang stone tu.
Okay, comment by Daryl. My fridge got more characteristics than Maguire. Okay, maybe Doc. Okay, because I'm sure that you have been following United since the good old days until right now. Okay, just to put everything to perspective and whatnot. When we are talking about wearing the captain armband, what kind of character are you looking at in the captain?
You want somebody who's a leader lah. You know, that's the first thing. Who can inspire those around them. You know, to perform 110% every game, you know. I mean, and I'm used to captains like Brian Robson, you know, Roy Keane, even David Beckham lah. David Beckham was not the kind of captain who would, you know, like really scream and shout, but he would drive players with his own performance. And we see none of these characteristics with Harry Maguire lah. He's unfortunately one of the worst captains in the recent memory of Manchester United. Not only doesn't he inspire the players around him, he blames people, okay, for everything that's happening to him, as we've seen in the last few days. I think you need to be able to take stock of your own performance, right? And you see if you're not doing well, you need to step up lah. He's always, you know, talking a lot of crap in the media, you know, putting up things on Instagram, even when we're losing last season. Oh, we'll do better next game and what's not. But the next game is the same shitty performance lah. So, as a captain, I would expect him to be the one to grab everybody and say, guys, look, we need to step up our game. And unfortunately, he's nothing close lah.
I think the closest thing we have to a captain, I think in recent times, not because that the players are great, but then if you talk about competency level and whatnot, I would say David De Gea is one of them, a contender of being a proper captain before he was actually stripped off the captaincy previously. At least David De Gea came up and, admit his fault, his mistake when he actually conceded, those goals against Brentford that day, right? So the statements that Harry Maguire came out and actually say, okay, let's just run through, let's jump into it, let's run through it one by one. Okay, the first statement, okay, source close to Harry Maguire. By the way, this is all exposed by, I think, what's his name? Mark Oden from ESPN. Okay, this is the guy, a reliable source, all right, reliable source. He was the guy who did the expose when Eric Ten Hag came to United. He was the first guy to actually talk about it and announce it, right? So the first statement, all right, Harry needs space around him, but he hasn't had that. If you put Ruben Dias in Manchester United defense and Harry in City back four, Dias would struggle and Harry would thrive. Okay, so statement ni, okay, Jai, apa pendapat you tentang ini? Kalau Harry Maguire masuk City, nampaknya dia jadi world class. You setuju ke tak?
No lah, kalau kita nak cerita pasal masuk tim lain ke, masuk City, whatever lah, AC Milan ke, Inter Milan ke, Real Madrid, kita pergi Europe ke apa kan. Tapi the point sekarang, individu yang kita nampak. Macam contoh, kita tengok last before game, kita bukan cerita pasal Maguire punya cara permainan dia sekarang. Kita cerita pasal last year punya, zaman Ole, apa semua masa dia masuk. Apa yang you ingat tentang Harry Maguire? Yang bagus pada Harry Maguire, apa yang bagus dia? It's not about surrounding player world class ada dekat situ, back four ada world class, bukan. This is individu punya problem. Mistake dia buat sendiri. Apa yang dia create untuk team, apa yang ditonjolkan dekat diri dia. So apa yang statement tadi tu, kalau Maguire still dengan permainan dia sekarang ni, dia pergi mana pun dia sama juga. Tak bagus. Sampah.
Doc, do you think, right, it's because of the price tag lah? Maybe it's because of the 80 million price tag. Usually when we buy, like for example, when they talk about when we got Paul Pogba for around that ballpark of money and whatnot, right? So we were saying that, we need to build a team around Paul Pogba, okay, because this is the marquee signing, the expensive signing and whatnot. So you think for this Maguire situation, right, to bring out the best in him, should we, get more pacey defenders and whatnot, more competent, proper fullbacks to actually support his brilliantness and whatnot? What do you think, Doc?
I think the reason we paid that amount of money was to get in the person who we thought was the best fit, right? You're not bringing in somebody who then you need to bring in other people to make sure he gets the best performance. A lot of it was individual mistakes. I think he's made that for United over the last season and a half, 2 seasons already, right? It's something that I don't think that, if you had pacey people around him, well, to a certain extent, they can cover him, but they can't cover for those individual mistakes all the time. I mean, we've seen it with England. The reason he looks better with England is because Kyle Walker is around. And Kyle Walker is a guy who's covering a lot of space in the pitch. He's not only on the right back, he's sometimes at the centre back. Sometimes I've seen even the left back covering when there's a fast break and things like that. But you can't expect every teammate to be that and to build your team around him. It's about understanding and it's about partnerships. I mean, look at the current partnership of Varane and Martinez. They're not. Each of them are not individually pacey. Okay, or even let's take a step back to some of our greater partnerships before. Right, we're talking about Bruce and Pallister. Both of them were not pacey. It's just that Bruce was superb at reading the game, and anything that was high, it was Pallister who cleared. Right. Even if you look at Yapstam and Ron Johnson, none of them were the paciest defenders around. But it was the combination and the understanding of each other's game that made the difference, right? But here we see that Harry Maguire is not bothered about that. All he wants to know is, he's the man, he doesn't take accountability for any of his mistakes, try to improve in the next game. He's doing the same thing day in and day out. Now, let me take a step back to your statement that if he goes to City, he will do well. No way. Because we've seen he can't play out from the back. Even when the ball is played to him, he takes so long to make a pass. Do you think he will survive in City's slick passing game? No way. And if you're talking about Ruben Dias coming to United, I'm sure he will thrive. You know why? Because he's the guy who's proactive in defending. You know, you know when he goes in all in. He knows when he can intercept, he goes to intercept. He knows when he needs to stand back, he stands back. But it's very proactive defending, unlike Harry Maguire, who's very reactive, right? Positioning is reactive. Everything is reactive. And that is the problem. It's not which team he's in. I bet even if he goes to City, he will struggle. He will spoil City's passing game.
Another thing just to add on, usually I think like when you talk about combination of players like that, the centre-back pairings and then with the fullbacks and whatnot, I believe that, of course, we hope that we always get world-class players, but then what we really, really need in the team is players that actually bring out the best in each other. I think that is what we are actually seeing right now. They, like defense, like the way they defend a ball and whatnot, the way that they celebrate, each other's effort and whatnot. It's like as if you're scoring goals. So this is something, personally, I haven't seen when Maguire was playing. Frequently, throughout the last season and whatnot, we weren't seeing anything like that. What we were actually seeing is body language from frustration from players up front, players around him, frustration from the goalkeeper David De Gea as well. All right, so let me just run through some comments. Okay, Slack 92, Sean, all right, your fridge should be a better defender also. Okay, and then you can actually get a cold drink from the fridge as well, more useful also. Okay, Roger, the results are damning. Maguire with Varane, horror show of 21-22. Maguire with Martinez, trashed by Brentford. No Maguire, 4 wins on the trot in the Premier League. Okay, by the mod. But Southgate is still picking Maguire. This is something that we cannot understand. We cannot understand. We just cannot understand. Right? Nicholas mentioned, only thing have to give Maguire is he's pretty good at aerial duels because of his height and his thick head. That's all really. Yeah, he can't even score a goal.
From the corners.
Corners and whatnot. Okay, I don't know how far this is true, but a good comment by Daryl. Mark Auden just said the source isn't even from Maguire. Auden's a joke. Or probably with all the backfire. In fact, I actually went through Twitter just now, right? Harry Maguire out is actually trending, under the sports hashtags and whatnot. So maybe in a way, Harry Maguire is like already kachut already. So he's like, hey bro, you gotta hold back lah. You gotta cover for me, Maybe you just say that I'm not the one who's actually saying all of this kind of stuff lah.
No, right? But apparently he's being bashed for leaking dressing room secrets, right? In a way.
Probably this is the guy lah. This is the fraud lah, the biggest fraud. And the sickening thing, he's our captain. Captain kita yang buat benda macam ni. Maguire yang bayar order untuk cakap statement tu.
And I just go back to one of your last comment, Dom. You said, you see the team now high-fiving every defensive, super defensive work that they do and things like that. You never saw that when Maguire was then. He was the captain. Exactly. He should be the one leading that kind of cheerleading for the rest of the defenders, you see. And as a captain, he's not doing it. And now you see the back four, none of them are captain, and they're all doing it. They're all into trying to keep the clean sheet, and that's heartening to see lah, in a way.
And another thing, just from the top of my head lah, how many times lah, Jai, berapa kali you tengok Maguire ada pergi depan referee argue dengan referee kalau satu decision yang tak betul tu macam mana. Apa yang saya nampak setakat ni, dia cool down player kita saja dan biar saja. That is something that shouldn't be lah. As much as stick yang kita bagi pada Bruno buat benda macam ni kan, Jai. At least dia defend, kita fight for dia punya decision semua benda.
Betul. Sebab itulah I cakap dengan you tadi, dengan semua orang. Lagipun fan dekat luar United pun tahu apa yang ada dekat Maguire as a captain tak ada langsung. Daripada zaman kita tak pernah jumpa dekat dalam United punya captain sebelum ni, kita tak pernah jumpa karakter semacam Maguire ni. So sebab tu mungkin orang terkejut dengan statement tu, tetapi untuk Maguire macam kita rasa Maguire ni yang bagi statement. Kita boleh tahu yang Maguire yang akan bagi statement macam ni sebab kita tahu karakter dia sebegitu. Kita nampak. So kita takkan terkejut dengan statement-statement bodoh menyalahkan another player, itu memang kita dah boleh agak dah, ni memang Maguire punya statement. Walaupun dia nak berselindung whatever, sebab kita nampak karakter dia dekat luar padang, dekat dalam padang. Sebab tu dia bukan born untuk jadi Manchester United punya captain.
Player juga.
Yes, dia born untuk jadi sampah dalam dalam United. Sampah.
Okay, comment by Bradley. Maguire can join Greenwood in Penjara FC. Alah, don't lah. Not the same. Although different circumstances, but skill level is not the same lah. Not the same. Okay, another one. I wouldn't even have Maguire near our tea lady. She'll start spilling drinks. Okay, last one by Bradley. Southgate is building the wall Trump didn't. If he's got a choice, he'll play 11 defenders, subs, who are also defenders or CDMs. He's trying to build a wall. Even the Mexicans can't cross. Okay, statement kedua. Supposedly lah, okay, kita speculate sikit lah, alright. Harry hasn't had a good 12 months, but he hasn't been helped by those around him, coaches or players. So it's inevitable that his confidence and form have suffered. Okay, so Jai, maybe you nak tambah benda macam ni. So and then also lah, nak tanya juga satu benda, just to add on. If just say you rasa maybe the previous management juga responsible atas benda macam ni, because if just say players suffering from confidence atau performance, mereka patut duduk kat bangku, bukan terus bermain. Apa pendapat you, Jai?
Ya, sepatutnya memang begitulah. Kalau you tak perform, you kena duduk dekat bench. Sepatutnya. Okay lah, sorry to say lah. Maybe zaman Ole, kita tak tahu dia orang punya agreement macam mana. Sebab kita beli Maguire 80 juta. Dan dia English born. Mungkin kau kena bagi Maguire main. Maybe. So, tapi kalau ikutkan apa yang sepatutnya, you tak perform, you kena duduk bench. Itu yang paling mustahak. Sebab kita bukan main satu orang, kita main 11 orang. Tak perform, duduk bench. Tetapi untuk statement yang kata tidak ada orang membantu Maguire di sekelilingnya, itu pada pendapat I tak logik. It's tak logik. It's nonsense. Sebab engkau pemain berharga 80 juta, engkau as a captain, sepatutnya engkau loud suara engkau kena bagi tahu yang aku tak bagus sekarang. Aku tak boleh jadi captain. Engkau kena berterus terang. Bukan kau duduk diam dan buat statement dekat luar padang ataupun kau bagi tahu dekat mana-mana tempat lain. Kau kena sebab kita ni this is foundation. Foundation ni maknanya satu team, kita satu family, you know, kita kena bagi tahu apa yang sepatutnya. It's tak logik lah. Ini statement ataupun benda ni seperti macam betul-betul memang Maguire tu sampah lah. Sekali lagi, sampah.
But yalah, if kalau tengok sekeliling dia, right, we got Varane on his right. Okay, I think that time he was playing the centre back on the left hand side. So Varane on his right, who is a French national player. And then on his left, Luke Shaw, his buddy Luke Shaw. So in a way, I don't think so, man. I'm sure the quality is there. Maybe it's like, you know, the way he's commanding his how to say, the people around him and whatnot as the captain. Right. So okay, this last statement, all right, this time I'm going to point this as dog, right? I got you on just for this statement. After you give your input, you can go to sleep already after this. Okay? Harry Maguire's frustration with David De Gea's communication and reluctance to defend further away from his goal line were a factor in the overall malaise in defense last season. So what's your take on that? No.
I think he should be thanking De Gea for saving his bacon on so many occasions last season. He shouldn't be complaining. But I think, again, I'll be fair to him, right? 3 seasons ago, probably when we went to Europa League final under Solskjaer, he was probably the best option we had in defense. I'll be fair to him. Okay, he's the one who was actually doing a decent job. I think that time we were talking more about Bailly and Cotton Ball, right? Who weren't perfect partners for him. Yeah, but the last season, he was very poor right from the beginning. Okay, and now if we go back to the Europa League final season, he was okay. He had no complaints about De Gea at that point of time, right? But last season, he was really underperforming right from the beginning. The problem is no manager was brave enough to drop him for reasons best known to ourselves. Ole didn't drop him. RR didn't drop him.
Who was the manager there?
Huh? I said the right Ole. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to say that even RR didn't drop him for all that, you know. Great
interim manager got no power lah.
Interim manager was busy doing what some people say press conferences and exposing the whole lot. But again, nobody dropped him, right? and he continued to perform poorly. But the problem is, instead of rectifying it by training harder, and dishing out good performance in the pitch, he's finding an excuse in every single person. Coaches, trainers, the tea lady, and of course David De Gea. Everybody's favorite fall guy is David De Gea, isn't it?
No, it's Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo.
No, the team doesn't press. It's David De Gea's fault. The team lets in goals. It's David De Gea's fault. Right? The defenders don't defend. It's David De Gea's fault. So I think Harry Maguire is just jumping in the bandwagon here, lah, blaming De Gea for everything. Right? No, I think it's ridiculous, lah. And with social media nowadays, right, everybody either puts up something or releases something in the quiet. But you should be taking stock of your performance, lah, Coach Dom. Correct or not? Right? The first thing you should do is you should improve your game, yourself, before talking about other people. Now, come on, you're blaming your perform because the keeper doesn't want to play higher up the pitch, doesn't want to leave his line. I think that's stupid.
But that actually is quite funny, because if the goalkeeper is playing higher up on the line, right, I think this Maguire will be further exposed because he lacked pace, you see. So I think in a way he's like delegating these responsibilities to the people around him. Okay, if
but if he lacks space, the speedy defenders around him can cover him, lah. Everybody must cover him on the pitch.
He should be a manager, lah. He should be a manager, lah. Not a get people to do stuff, lah. Okay, Jai. So Daryl tadi cakap, okay, ini maybe rumour saja lah. Okay, but assuming, okay, kita 50-50 lah. Kita bagi dia chance and whatnot. Okay, kalau ini betul, ini memang betul. Okay, apa pendapat you tujuan Maguire dia keluar dia cakap benda macam ni? Apa tujuan dia?
Dia nak main dengan England dekat World Cup. Sebab tu dia macam nak kata meraih minta simpati ataupun minta pace kat dalam England punya collab, tak tahulah. Tapi yang itu yang I dapat lah. Pasal kalau benda ni betul lah. Tapi kalau benda ni betul pun macam ibarat statement ni sampah gila lah. Macam kau letakkan satu benda untuk kau nak dapat satu tempat, kau letakkan satu benda untuk kau letakkan kesalahan dekat orang itu ini semua dengan keadaan player sekeliling. Okay, fine. Maknanya statement kau ni memang kau tak layak langsung duduk kat dalam United. Kalau betul lah kau nak ambil collab dekat England. Tapi for sure lah kalau I as a Sogate, okay lah I letak dia dekat dalam collab England tapi I tak bagi dia main langsung. Sebab this is sampah punya statement. Kita dah nampak bercakap pun dah macam sampah. Ini kan main dekat dalam United punya team pun macam sampah. Statement kau pun ni sampah ni. Kau salahkan David De Gea, kau salahkan kau punya coaching staff apa whatever lah. Apa saja yang kau boleh letak, kau letak. Sampah bro, sampah. Serius.
Tea lady sekali.
Apparently, my girlfriend angry with me also David De Gea's fault.
Can, sure, Brian. Everybody just blame De Gea. Anything going wrong in the world peace also we blame De Gea for it.
So Doc, all right, your take. How do you think that this will actually impact the team? Because the players are still around him, the players that apparently got not enough pace, who aren't competent enough and whatnot, they are currently starting in the first 11 and whatnot. So how do you think this will actually impact the overall team, the way the dressing room will actually respond to Harry Maguire with this type of statements? And bear in mind, he haven't actually come out to actually say that this is all fake or untrue and whatnot, as far as I know lah, on Twitter and whatnot. So what's your take?
Yeah, that's actually a very good question. It could lead to certain divides within the United camp. Again, the English versus the foreign boys, because Luke Shaw and Maguire and all are quite close, right? So this could lead to and they're the ones who are now currently occupying the bench positions. Okay, dropped and the team is producing results. That's why all the excuses are coming out. I hope that ETH is strong enough to handle the dressing room. I think it shouldn't bother the players who are already playing in the first 11. Unless Harry Maguire comes back into the first team, which I hope he doesn't, barring any injuries and things like that. So the thing is, the team is playing well. I hope that will be sufficient for them to actually keep their heads and on the pitch, on matters on the pitch and not the things that are off it. The good thing is we have a couple of very level-headed players that we brought in terms of like Christian Eriksen, Martinez and all. And hopefully they won't be bothered by this kind of rubbish that they read in the media. And again, it will be up to ETH to maintain this harmony in the dressing room. That is key. The moment you have different camps in the dressing room and all, it becomes really difficult, a really difficult situation.
Okay, Roger mentioned Roy Keane's contract was terminated for less. Keane's objective was to improve the team. Maguire's aim is just to defend himself. True. Very good statement on this.
Yeah, but the problem is that time we had Sir Alex, who wasn't afraid to make this kind of big decisions. Right?
You don't think that Eric Ten Hag, that kind of manager, we have actually seen, I think AX, there was this one particular player that I think there's this clip floating around that he actually, scolded the player during the game that mentioned that, oh, you're not the only player, you're playing for the team and whatnot. And long and behold, the player was actually sold. I don't know his name, but it's out there lah. So
yeah, I hope so.
Maybe this will actually trigger Eric Ten Hag to actually do something drastic. Maybe
I hope so. The only thing is he's at a new club. It's a big club globally, right? He's still in his first couple of months in his first season. He hasn't won anything. He doesn't have that kind of, whether he's strong enough to wield that kind of power without winning anything, or without having that kind of good baggage that he can make these kind of decisions, right? Because now, don't forget, he's still new, he hasn't won anything. If he makes this kind of decision, if he backfires, everybody's going to jump on his back. The press will be the first people to jump on his back, considering Harry Maguire is English, right? And that will lead to other pressures. So again, it depends on what kind of personality he is, and we'll see probably the coming weeks or so. I think his first key decision, the big decision, and I respect this, was to drop Maguire and Shaw, right? Now the problem is whether he can keep them out, or would outside pressures force him to play them again. But again, if the results are good, I don't see any reason to bring him back in. The moment results start to falter, would he then change his stance? That's left to be seen, I guess.
Okay, Eriton mentioned Maguire is like the person who goes missing during an assignment and pops up saying he did everything.
And when the assignment is not done, he'll blame everybody else.
Okay, Nicholas mentioned stripping the captaincy from him during this break would be the greatest gift for us fans and Maguire himself. Actually, you can actually see this thing happening, but the thing is, when our so-called captain goes in for a cameo appearance, I think for the last 2-3 minutes, he will go straight for the armband. He will go for the bloody armband, and come on, serious.
Actually, that's one thing I thought ETH would do, The first thing he could have done, right? Use his appointment as an excuse to change the captain. Not keep it and then after try to win the captaincy away, it becomes more difficult. He immediately come in and say, look, I want to make Bruno the captain right from the start. It would be a much easier decision. But let's see how this goes.
Okay, Jai, pada pendapat you, macam mana Eric Ten Hag dia akan control situation ini? Okay, dengan statement-statement daripada player macam Anthony Martial, which I think itu memang fair lah. Okay, Anthony, I gotta defend. Why I gotta defend? I know it's not about Anthony Martial, but there are certain people mentioning that Martial is the same lah. Dia keluar M, both also M, right? Dia keluar to give all these kind of statements. But Martial, in his statement, to be fair, he actually admit that he hasn't been consistent and whatnot. At least he admit his fault and whatnot, right? So in this case, okay, putting that aside, okay, Jai, Eric Ten Hag, macam mana dia akan handle situation ini pada pendapat you? Okay, players.
Sorry, Jai, before that, Coach Dom, you are being monitored from a remote location. Remember that?
Yeah, with his smart devices. Okay, so
sorry, Jai. Go ahead.
Kalau
okay. Biasanya memang dah lumrah tau. Dah lumrah dalam dunia bola sepak, player akan menceritakan whatever, bukan coach baru tau. Dia akan ceritakan kisah-kisah lama dia coach dengan coach Ole, contohlah Ralf Rangnick, Dia akan biasa. Mana-mana tim, bukan Manchester United je, pergi mana-mana pun. Tapi selalunya Manchester lah yang akan cerita benda-benda ni semua kan. Tapi kalau nak cerita pasal Eric Ten Hag ni sebenarnya dia sebenarnya boleh abaikan je cerita-cerita tu sebab dia bukan ada kena-mengena pun dengan cerita-cerita yang dulu. Dia cerita-cerita yang sekarang ni. At least dia tak sebutkan pasal cara Eric Ten Hag macam ni, cara Eric Ten Hag. So still masih lagi harmoni lah under dia. So far benda-benda macam ni sebenarnya Eric Ten Hag kita boleh nampak lah. First game, second game kalah and then dia letak Shaw dengan Maguire dekat luar and then Martial masih belum bermain lagi and then kisah Ronaldo, I nampak dia boleh lagi adapt benda ni. Masih boleh adapt lagi. So kalau I sebagai Erik ten Hag, I akan abaikan saja sebab benda ni tak ada kena-mengena, walau kecuali kalau dia sebut pasal Erik ten Hag, okey. Tapi kalau dia tak sebut pasal Erik ten Hag, tak payahlah. Dia still boleh stick pada apa yang dia plan. Sebab kita nampak Erik ten Hag ni dia banyak karakter tau. Dia banyak karakter. So benda ni simple untuk dia lah. Selagi tak menyentuh Erik ten Hag sendiri. So far abaikan.
Okay, last comment. There is a plan in place. Erik ten Hag has let Maguire self-destruct during the first few games in order to drop him and eventually remove the armband. #genius. Okay, guys, what do you guys think of Harry Maguire's statement? Okay, and how do you guys think that Erik ten Hag would handle this situation and how it will actually impact the dressing room? Leave your input in the comments below, all right? We are at the end of our show. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Good night.
Maguires.